Hello, welcome to Askmichellestar.com. It's good to see you again. I've been not doing my videos recently because I want to tell you about my COVID experience. So about the beginning, around the first week of September, I was hoping to have my daughter Ronnie and her boyfriend Joseph over for a day and Labor Day weekend. And so, Thursday I wasn't feeling so hot, but I wasn't thinking anything of it. Because in April, I was feeling ill and I went to get a COVID test, and of course it was negative and everything was fine, and I just thought that it's my own usual stuff like I have tonsils that you can see from outer space from a satellite, bronchitis, my sinuses, whatever, my own stuff, the stuff that we have. I'm not one of those people who never catches a cold. I do know some people like that. My mother happened to have been one of these people, but not me. So I'm like, okay, by the weekend, I'm going to be fine. And so I'm preparing and I'm getting my stuff. And all of a sudden, Saturday, I just feel things that are not my own stuff. Now, all of a sudden, I can't stand up on my own two legs. I'm so weak. I'm extremely weak. And I'm getting sicker by the minute. And I'm not sure at which point I started to have a fever. Could have been Saturday, could have been Sunday, Monday, I don't know. But I knew one thing, I needed antibiotics because I'm the type of person that I know myself, you know what I mean? I needed antibiotics. And I'm thinking, okay, it's the weekend. How am I gonna get antibiotics? So I'm calling my primary physician, and you talk to different people. And whoever I explain, all these health professionals that I explain my symptoms to, we all said the same thing, and they all said the same thing, that I don't have COVID. Now, I'm not a health professional. I don't know anything particularly about it. I'm telling you about my own experience with it and what I learned personally. So, all they wanted me was to speak to a doctor who will then call up my drugstore, who will then just send in for antibiotics. Well, it's Labor Day weekend. It happened to have been beautiful weather, and I can't get out of bed. I'm sick as a dog, and there is no way out of it, and I need my antibiotics. So, and of course, I stayed home and quarantined myself from the second I felt that I wasn't feeling well. So, make a long story short, from one person to the next, whoever was supposed to call back, nobody calls back, whatever, God bless them. It's a beautiful weekend. And before you say, well, why didn't you go to emergency? Because I didn't need to go to emergency. I needed my antibiotics. I needed to be on meds. And they are bombarded enough, and you can get COVID there or whatever, you don't go unless you have to, right? So I didn't have to. Anyway, Tuesday evening, I'm finally getting my medicine and I'm on antibiotics, and I started to feel better right away. However, I had the fever. Now, the whole thing is that antibiotics do not help COVID. So right away, I may be just having whatever I'm having. So then, okay, now if you're gonna say, well, did you go for a COVID test? Over the weekend, I was too sick to leave the house to go for any tests. I'm home and I'm trying to take care of myself. But one thing that I found very, very important is not to get to the hospital. And how do you do that? You have to keep that fever down. You have to keep that fever down. You must do that. That's the most important thing. So clockwork, I like Advils. I was taking Advils, Tylenols, whatever is your choice. It's one of those drugs that is really miraculous. You have to admit, you don't get addicted to it. It helps them everything. It helps you sleep better at night when you're sick, even after the fever is gone. That's another little tip that I can say from my own experience. So this was going on and on. I'm on antibiotics. And now, at some point, I really don't have my timeline very well, because when you're sick, the clock is the last thing you're thinking about. And so I don't know, but I'm looking at my notes here, because I do want to have a little bit more in the frame of a timeline. Oh, so now slowly I'm losing my sense of taste and smell. I don't know when it happened, but it was happening. So now I'm thinking, that's not something that is my own stuff, my own usual symptoms. That's different. So I'm saying to my husband, John, who is now getting ill, I said, I'm bringing a perfume cap, and I go, can you smell that? And we're smelling into the cap. He's, no. So I'm spritzing into it. And by then it'll knock you over. Well, neither one of us smelled anything. So now he goes, like within 15 minutes or whatever, he goes to get himself tested. Sure enough, we wait 3 days, but by then he's sick. So now we're both home. And also a nice person, a health professional, called me, not him, and told me to be quarantined. So I said, okay. Even though I was feeling better, but I can tell you, neither one of us did anything unless a doctor or a health professional told us. We never left the house until they told us. So, okay, so now we know that he has it, and gee whiz, I gave it to him. Thank you very much. So that's not a great feeling. Now, I made an appointment. I had an appointment scheduled with my doctor for months now to see him for some blood work and so forth. And I haven't seen him since before COVID. So when I was talking to them, or to him, not to him, but to whoever, I spoke to a bunch of people. We decided, and then I called up and I made an appointment to also have the antibody test while I'm having that blood work done. So that's what we did. So then I was scheduled, and that's how I found out that I have antibodies. So we each have our own journey, but the fever, now I'm a person who is kind of used to being sick with fever, but my husband, I've never seen him so sick for so many days. The scary part about the COVID is the length of time with fever. I mean, normally you will have it 2-3 days, whatever, it goes away. But here you have 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's just there. And you're thinking, oh my Lord, if this doesn't go down, hospital cannot help you with your fever, and it's the last place you want to go to. And now they're really bombarded with a lot of people. So thank goodness. But one thing I insisted upon for the two of us, we have to eat normally. You have to eat 3 times a day. I don't care if you don't taste anything. I don't care if you don't smell anything. What I did was I got into the textures. Like I will have a crunchy something so that I can get into this whatever I was eating that I didn't know what I was eating. But we could taste. We knew if it was sweet. We knew if it was salty. And we knew it was spicy hot. So I would throw spice in there and crunchy stuff in there, just to, especially for him. I just made sure that he kept eating properly, because you need your strength. This thing robs you of your strength. It makes you weak in a strange way. So that's what I found out, that you want the fever down, you want to drink a lot of water, and patience, right? This thing is all about patience. If you go back to March, what I wrote about this virus, when it first came around, that it was all going to be about patience, universal patience and personal patience. And also you need a lot of rest, a lot of rest. I still, I don't have anything past it that much, except for if I'm overdoing it after 2-3 days, I feel very weak on the fourth day maybe. And, but I don't really have past kind of situations after the fact. So, like the post residual that people are feeling. Now, John still has a problem with his taste buds. His smell is coming back quicker than his taste buds. But this morning, it's Sunday, so I made some tomato sauce. He says, gee, I'm smelling it. I'm like, whoa, it's coming back slowly. Now, don't forget, this started the first week of September. And so now I'm into November. Like this, the 2 months passed because all we've been doing is COVID. That's it. We just get back to being well, because it is scary, the length of time that this thing takes. Anyway, and as soon as I thought everything is okay, the worst was yet to come. Because the end of October, my very best friend of so many years, our daughters were born 9 months apart. And my very dear friend, Lori Hanton, got COVID. And she passed away November 3rd. It came on fast and furious. She has pre-existing condition. She had Parkinson's, advanced Parkinson's. So when people say that pre-existing conditions are not a question to ask, because when people say to me, well, they had COVID or they know somebody, I say, well, did that, and that they passed away. And I go, well, did they have pre-existing conditions? A couple of people looked a little upset with me. I think it's a very valid question, because I think that makes it so difficult. But if you're okay, I mean, you can get over this thing. John has, I'm not saying that every human soul will, because we don't know what's in God's will. But she had pre-existing conditions. And my beautiful friend was born in a year of the dragon. She was fiercely independent, fearless, and started her little empire in interior design. And now her daughter, Tara, who worked with her, they both got COVID together. And Tara, who has diabetes 1, I was always terribly worried that she would get that, what would happen. But because she had to take care of her mother, it's amazing, within 2 days, her fever was gone. She became this superpower of a person. And she's a person that whenever she gets a cold, she can end up in the hospital, and she has. So it's amazing how mind over matter in situations like this. She took care of her mother 24/7 before she had to go into the hospital, because there was nothing she could do for her. She'll do you proud. She'll do so well. So Parkinson's has come around and has affected my life. And Lori, you're no longer with us, but I think that at least you are no longer trapped in that body that betrayed you. And I'll miss you forever. Thank you so much for listening to me. And take care of yourself. if you do get it, keep that fever down. And God bless you all. Don't forget to go to Askmichellestar.com to click on the like button to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to start doing my videos about astrology. And I do want to speak about COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. I want to speak about it in the very, very near future. If I don't see you before Thanksgiving, have a great Thanksgiving. My daughter is going to come with her boyfriend. I hope everybody's well and everything is great. I'm looking forward to it. Picking up my turkey tomorrow. Did my sauce today for my lasagna. Have a great day. And thank you so much. Love you. Bye.